I haven't really done this before. I wanted to try something new. I don't usually get a chance to talk to a lot of people. Most of the people I know online. I don't have very many people who I really hang out with in person. And my family and, the people I do see in person don't really understand. And I've been on a lot of different sites and, chat to people and sort of talk to them about this sort of thing, but I wanted to really get this out there and make a video and sort of explain myself, because I think it'd help me and it'd help other people who, if there are other people out there like me, or people who are creative, make music, and who sort of, want something or someone to relate to, I can sort of get this out there. Confessions of a mad mind, of a mad musician. So I just want to let everything out and explain everything. I don't want to be this personality that hides behind my music or my videos on YouTube. I want you to know who I am and why I do what I do, and how important music is to me. Music is so important to me. My sanity depends on it. Everything that I am is music. Music is, to me, the soul of the universe. All of the little vibrations, the sounds, Foley, music, sounds that sound like other sounds. It's like a reinterpretation of the way matter is made, recycled, the cycle of life and death, the neutrality and dynamic nature of life itself, and irony. It's all, music can explain it all. Music to me exists on a higher dimension. We can only see in 3D, but sound exists on the higher dimensions. We can hear things that we can't possibly see with our eyes, and I think music resides on that spiritual plane, and with other things that can't be seen, like love. It's real, but we can't see it. Feelings are real, and we've even been known to transmit feelings to other people, and have ESP and people getting instincts and stuff like that. There's a lot that makes up the human mind and a lot that makes up energy in the world, and energy is very real. So you've got spiritual energy, you've got negative energy, you've got sound waves, and sound is like right at the core of it. I honestly believe that sound exists as a higher dimension, a higher reality, a higher being, and it gives us just a small glimpse into its beauty by coming into our ears and letting us hear it. So to me, that's what music is, and I'm going to tell you who I am and why I do what I do. If you're watching this, you've probably seen some of my other videos. I do spotlights on libraries, walkthroughs, ideas on music, and I make a lot of music that's on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. But I want you to know who that person is and what my music means and how important it is and why I keep doing it no matter what. I have a hard time connecting with other human beings. It's pretty much impossible. I can sympathize and empathize and sort of get on the same mental level as a person, but I can't truly emotionally connect with other human beings, not even the person I'm with. It's something I've always wanted to do, but I can't. It's not in my brain. The chemicals aren't there because of the way I am, There's always this glass casing that separates me from everyone else, and the only way I can get through to them is through my music, but it's one way. If a person truly listens to my music and they hear it and they understand it, then they're hearing me as a person. This personality and this body is like a representation of who I am. My music is who I am. If you want to get to know me, you have to listen to my music. There's no amount of time that you can spend with me that would let you know me as deeply as you could know your average person. I'm too closed even if I talk about it, they're just words, you know. It's just like I'm locked inside somewhere, and this personality is just something that helps me get along and communicate with other beings that are the same as me. And it's hard. So this is what I do. This is music, and I want to explain this to you. Music is everything I am. And like I said, it keeps me sane. I've always had an inability to relate with other human beings. I can see deeply into things. I'm a really good judge of character. I can tell what a person's thinking or feeling by looking into their eyes, but they can't do the same with me. And it hurts because there's too much going on back there. It's just a completely misunderstood thing, because I'm less of who I am and more of what I am and what curses me. And the personality I have is just something I developed to help me live and to get through life. At a very young age, I did a lot of strange things and had a lot of strange ideas. I matured very, very early. While kids were listening to, pop and hip hop and, 90s synth beats and stuff like that. And I was into Joe Satriani and Billy Joel. I was into very more matured things that had more adult concepts. I was into movies like American Beauty and The Shawshank Redemption, and I wanted to get into the deep side of things very quickly because I was overly curious and my brain was constantly on. The wheels were constantly turning. I couldn't stop them. I'd done so many stupid, embarrassing things. I acted like, I don't know. I don't even know if I acted like a human. But as I got older, it turned into detachment from the world, and I felt like I didn't belong here. I didn't know what I was doing here. I constantly felt depressed, and I wanted to wipe out everyone on the face of this earth. I wanted to commit mass genocide, and I was serious about it. I had plans written down how I was going to take over the world, and I knew it was the right thing to do, and it got worse. All I could think about was killing people or killing myself. And then after a while, I decided to get into drugs. I did ecstasy on weekends. I did acid to try and, find different places in my mind. I did crystal meth. I did cocaine. I did marijuana. I even experimented with things like morphine and other drugs like codeine and stuff like that. I was all over the place, and I damaged my body and my heart and even my ears because of the crazy things that I did. I spent so much money. I did so many wrong things. I went out with the wrong people. I got married at a young age, and I got divorced at a young age. But I'll start earlier on. I'll start from when I knew something was wrong. I started to feel like I was detaching from the world, like I was on a bad trip. And I thought, well, this combined with the fluctuations of emotion I have, I felt like I was on top of the world. I felt like I could conquer everything. I had special powers. Like at the age of 33 and a half, I was suddenly going to realize that I was some sort of spiritual godlike figure, and then on other days, I was so down. I got these thoughts in my head like I wanted to eat my own guts out to feel something. I used to get razor blades and cut myself all over. Like I had cuts all over my face, all over my chest, on my arms. I just looked like a jack-o'-lantern. And I did it not because I was angry at the world. I did it because it made me feel different. I wanted to get in contact with my flesh and see if I was still on Earth, if I was still there, And it felt good, but it was all the wrong ways for me to put my energy out, because I had energy flying in every direction. In 2009, I was on my way. I'll always remember this. I'll never forget it. In 2009, I was laying down in my bed. I can remember it as if it was yesterday, photographic memory. I had my headphones on and I was listening to the Ungod album from Stabbing Westward. And halfway through the album, I felt this fuzz come over my body. And I felt like I couldn't breathe anymore. And everything turned into... It's as if a whole bunch of terrorists took over the city and they were going house to house, slowly killing people, and my house was next. And it's those seconds before you're about to die and that you know that you're going to die, this incredible morbid fear of everything. You don't know what's what anymore. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you're doing here. You don't know what's going to happen. That fear overtook me. It was what ended up being what I realized was a manic episode, a very, very powerful manic episode. It's the worst place anyone could go to. I would rather have been tortured. I would rather have had needles stuck in my fingernails and been flayed than have this feeling. I was walking in, I went into the toilet and I sat in the toilet and I'm like, maybe I'm sick. Maybe I need to go to the toilet, and the walls were closing in on me and I thought, what the hell is going on? I started praying to God. I didn't even believe in God at that point. I started praying and I said, help me. What the hell is going on? I don't even know if I'm really alive anymore. I had this idea that I was dreaming and my entire life was a simulation, and that the fact was that something happened, an apocalypse happened, and there was only 2 scientists and myself left on Earth. And those scientists had me asleep and dreaming about the way the world used to be so that they could connect into that dream and live in the past. I started believing that. And on my way to meet my girlfriend at the time, I told her, I said, something's not right. And I couldn't eat. When I'd try to chew, my mouth would dry up. I nearly choked on bread one day. And this went on and on for months. 5 months I was in this manic episode. I had tried to take antipsychotics. I was, seeing the psychiatrist. He said, I hate to tell you this, but you've got bipolar and you've got Asperger's as well. Because you act like a child, you have childlike tendencies, you don't know how to communicate with people, you have obsessive compulsions to do certain things a certain number of times. The whole godlike personality and the ups and downs and the depersonalization and the different personalities I was developing. I had a person who was born in January, a person who was born in June, a girl who was born in October. That was my girl side, and I started wanting to be a girl. I didn't know if I was a girl or a guy. And this happened for 5 months. And eventually I sort of slowly came out of that manic episode. I was just taking mood stabilizers, which I still am to this day. And during that time, the only thing that stopped me from killing myself was music. It's not that I felt so bad about the world that I wanted to kill myself. It was that I was afraid that in my sleep or at any random moment, I was going to lose control of my body and I would turn into an animal and jump off a cliff. And it was this snarling, sort of smoking, hazy fear that just loomed in the back of my head. It was like my brain was open and there were things crawling in it, making me think things and do things, and I wasn't in control anymore. I honestly believed that gravity was going to stop and I was going to float away into nothing, into the universe. And it was at that point my girlfriend really, she couldn't handle the whole thing, but she decided to stay with me because, her and I, by that point, had kind of gotten to this theory that we had where we were both meant to meet each other, and, we had something special about us, stuff like that. So I kept on living, even though I didn't want to, or I felt like I wasn't going to. There were times where I'd just cry for no reason and I'd you know, I'd scare my friends or my family, and, you know, I had some best friends, and they abandoned me. They left one day and decided never to talk to me again and looked down on me. And I'm talking about my best friends. I'm talking about friends who I told things that I'd never told anyone else. Friends that we could think alike. You know, we could connect in a massive way. We went through so much crap together. But then one day he just, no, I don't want to deal with you anymore, Corey. Even when I got better and I started to deal with myself, it's like I wasn't good enough for him, and a few other friends at that. And that didn't help. Music was always there for me, always. It never left. And so this was 2009. In 2010, I became a Christian and got married to the person who I would end up hating the most. I already hated some things about this person. You know, I'd even tell her, I said, there are certain things I cannot stand about you because they're so inhumane. She had this cruel streak. She had this inability to understand what other people were saying. She'd just do whatever she wanted in someone else's house and not care about the consequences. She'd steal money from people and then go back a day later, and even if they confronted her, she'd be like, oh, well, you know, I did it. I don't feel sad. And then she'd steal money again. I mean, you know, and I got married to her, and we were married for about nearly 3 years. Actually, I think it was about 3 years, because I finalised the divorce on pretty much the anniversary of the 3rd year in January. And it was hell. People out there who, you know, if you're listening to this, you would know, if music is your life and it's what you do, it's something that you know it's your duty to do it. You have to do it. You can't live or be someone like a nice person unless you do it. It's your duty to give things to other people, to be creative. You know, it's there. There's so many feelings inside you that you can't say, and you feel that you have to inspire other people, because that's really what music is. Music is about giving. In order to live, you have to give. The only strength you can gain is by giving to other people, because without other people, you are just a walking thing that has no life. And it's the connections we make, and music is my connection. And I didn't know how to go about it, and I recorded a lot of different things. I didn't know where to put them. You know, back then SoundCloud wasn't available, and you know, that sort of stuff. But it only got worse, because when I was with my ex-wife, she saw my music as a threat. When I started to get serious about it, and I purchased a new computer, and you know, I saved up for months and months to get some sample libraries and to start making music, she made me feel bad that I made music. She said that she was sick that I didn't sick of me not paying enough attention to her. I would spend a week with her, just her and I, not making any music, her and I all the time together, 24 hours a day for a week. And then I'd go home and I'd start making music, and she'd call me in the middle of the night and say, Corey, you don't spend any time with me. You know, I thought she was crazier than I was. There's nothing wrong with her. I thought, what? She doesn't have a mental problem. I do. What's the go? And she hated me making music. I felt guilty to make music. And it was one of the worst times in my life. Every time I went to make a song, I felt like I shouldn't be doing it. And the music that I was making was causing her to become more and more detached from me. She'd cheat on me. She'd admit it. Go out and do it and admit it and not even care. And that was the way it was for a couple of years, on and off. You know, I broke up with her a few times, but always ended up getting back together. And I was a wreck because I felt like there was no point in making music. And every time I tried to do it, she would get angry. And I felt like I had to stay because I put her through what I went through. You know, she had to be around me when I was like that, when I went through my episodes, and I felt like I owed her something. And I felt like maybe I could help her become a better person because I was helping myself. And I just kept on living on this hope and dream that would never happen, and she just became worse and worse. She used to tell people, used to tell my friends, used to tell her friends, even my family, that I would beat her up and rape her. Why would someone say that? I mean, this is a person who, at that time, I loved more than anything in the world. I thought we were going to be together forever. I thought we were going to get married and have kids and all that sort of crap. And I'd spend so much time with her, and then when I'd go home, she'd call people up and say that I abused her. And I had friends and even my family coming to me and giving me dirty looks, and I felt like a piece of shit. And the whole world was against me. Everywhere I turned, I couldn't talk to someone without her talking to them first and then them looking at me as if I'm some sort of monster. I already felt like a monster because of what was inside of my head and the personality I had to develop to protect myself from being overcome by this chemical monster that was in my brain, like this thing that didn't have a face or a name, just all these evil thoughts and feelings and these ups and downs that I'd get. Because bipolar isn't something that just heals and you have a scar and it's there. Bipolar is like being married, only you're marrying a mental disorder and you have to live with it. You have to cherish it, learn how to take care of it, and learn how to take care of yourself and live with it and have a routine. That is what having a mental disorder is like. And music is it's the world that I stand on. It's the gravity that keeps me on the ground. It's the rain that comes after a really long hot summer. It's the food that I eat and the fluids that I drink and the air that I breathe in order to survive. And it's the only thing that has kept me in one piece. And there are so many things that I've wanted to express to people, so many ideas in my head, so many feelings. And sometimes I feel like I'm going to explode. You know, I need to tell people these things. You know, I've got so many cool ideas or so many feelings and philosophies that I need to tell people. And, you know, I'm here for a reason. I'm here to help people. And I do it through music. And I had just become over the years so detached, and I felt like there was no point in doing anything, and the music that I was making was useless because even the people even the person who I was with hated it and didn't want me to do it and made me out to be a monster. And I've kept myself from talking about it for so long because I tried to put it in my past. You know, I met someone who truly is a beautiful person, and they support what I do, and they love the music I make. And it was so nice to have someone actually want me to do what I was born to do. And they've always treated me with respect. And I respect them so much for that. But up until that point, just a couple of years ago, I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know if I was going to survive. I didn't know if I wanted to live anymore. And when I started going out with this new person and I finalized the divorce with my ex, I hid a lot of things away. A lot of things I've prevented myself from talking about, even to her, because I don't want her to hear them. I don't want her to feel hurt or her to feel like she has to compete with the emotion that I had, for my ex. I don't want to burden her with that, because she's got enough problems as it is, and I like to help her with those problems. And this is the first time I've decided to actually talk about this. I tried to talk about it and get closure with my ex once, a year ago, and she just responded by abusing me, through chat. She'd say, "Oh, you did this and you raped me, and you abused me, and you used to tell me I was shit, and you gave me mental problems and stuff just stuff that is not true." It's never come into my mind to abuse someone or to rape them for my own pleasure. It never come into my mind to do that, and I would never do that to another human being. And over the last 2 years, I've felt like I've kept this in and not talked about it, and feel like there was this thing dragging behind me, that this closure that I never got from someone who treated me like I didn't matter, and treated my music like it didn't matter. And I just want to talk about it now. I don't care how long it takes. I mean, if you've watched or listened this far, then maybe you can learn a thing or two about who I am and the history behind what I do and why I do it. But now I do what I do. I make music, I mix, even though no one knew this until now, until I'm just talking about it, that I can't hear properly. I have ringing in my ears constantly. Granted, from all of the stupid crap that I did when I was younger, all the parties I went to, and dancing near speakers and stuff like that at full volume, I have constant high-pitched ringing in my ears every single day, every second. It's sort of like when you have this weird scar in a weird place, and you can feel it there, but then sometimes, because humans are really good at adapting, you can forget it's there. But every now and then, a few times a day, you'll look down and it's there, and it feels weird again. It's the same with my ears, and all I have to do is think about it, and the ringing comes back. I've learned to mix around that. Mixing requires a lot of attention to detail, and I've learned to do it because I'm absolutely determined to be the person who I want to be, to make music and to help other people. I want to inspire other people with my music. When you hear my music, you're not just hearing little bits and pieces that I've put together from being interested or wanting to make some fun song. Every song I make with all of my vitality in my life. Dreams of childhood, fantasies, nostalgic memories of things that I can't, grip or grasp anymore. Complete and utter chaos, loss, all of these feelings go into my songs. They're all there, which is why I love industrial music so much, because industrial music is basically me as a person. It's the personification of me, this broken, lost, sort of unused thing that's been forgotten about, but that can still sound beautiful and can still create beautiful sounds. That's industrial music, and that's also me. And I decided after all this time making music, I want people to know who I am. So those of you who know my videos and know this channel, you'll finally get a chance to see that or to hear it. I keep a lot of things hidden from You know, even there's people that I work with, like I work with Sound Iron to do a lot of different things, and if I'm feeling on a particular day like I just don't want to be alive, it doesn't matter. I just suck it up and act like a professional and do what I have to do, because it's what I love and it's my passion. And I want anyone else out there who is either suffering from a disorder or suffering from bad living conditions, you know, someone else who's maybe emotionally abusive, or someone who didn't grow up with the best childhood, or someone who doesn't know if they have the motivation to get up and make music, or if it's too hard. It's never too hard. You have to do it. You have to be who you were born to be, otherwise you are nothing. That's all there is to it. You have to give this gift to other people. Musicians like you and I, we were born as vessels to pass this information through to other people. People don't realise it, but music is as essential as air and water. And we're the alchemists. We give the world music. And anyone who feels like they're kind of downtrodden, you know, they can't be famous. Famous people get all the fame and all the money. Fame, the only thing fame is useful for is selling products. Nothing else. Who cares how many listens or views some other person has? It doesn't change the fact that whoever you are, if you make or create an inspiring thing, it's going to remain an inspiring thing, and it is going to affect someone somewhere. No matter how small you think that is, that means a lot to that person, because to that person their life is everything. So I keep making my music. I've sold nothing, no albums, no songs in the past year or two on Bandcamp. And I admit I felt really down about it. I wanted to just quit music as a gesture of, you know, well, screw you, world. You don't want to listen to me. You don't think my music's important enough to buy. Well, then forget about it. But I keep doing it because I know that there are people out there who enjoy it. And even though I can't make as much money as, you know, I'd like to, because I don't have connections, I don't have 10,000 friends on Facebook that I can share links with and that sort of stuff. I'm a different kind of person. I'm a dark person, you know. That doesn't matter. Because the only thing that matters are the people who eventually get to hear it. They're the people who matter. It is my duty in this world to inspire other people and to keep music alive in a real way, not to sell it, not to promote it or advertise it as some sort of object that can be sold or bought, but the true essence of music and what it means. It's my job to continue giving that. And I'm glad now that I'm with someone who supports me in that sense, because it's made it so much easier to get where I am today, you know, and to know the people that I know and do the jobs that I've been able to do for people, and to have my music be important in different areas, and to have people actually watch my videos and, you know, be like, oh, cool video, I think I might buy that library. Well, good, you know, it's helped. And if you're ever that person who is curious as to, you know, why I can do so many songs in such little time and why I'm so creative, this is the reason. I want you to know. I want you to know who I am, because I'm sick of hiding it, and I'm sick of pretending like nothing hurts. You know? Having a mental condition like I do, there's a lot of things that don't hurt. I've got a very high pain threshold. I can see someone have a motorcycle accident right in front of me on the street, and I'll almost laugh, and then I'll feel sick. because I was so disconnected from the world that I thought it was funny for half a second. You know, I'm divided. There's a part of me that hates everyone on earth, and then there's a part of me that loves every human on earth and understands the value of human life and what we're here for. There's a part of me that hates myself and that is just angry at everything. A part of me that believes there's no reason for us to live. And then there's a part of me that believes there's every reason to live. And you can hear these conflictions in my songs. The darkness and the light. They're all there. I live with this every day. I go to sleep at night if I can. And when I wake up in the morning, I wake up in a cold sweat. I have intense nightmares of things that you couldn't even imagine. If you say you've seen the worst things, let me tell you, the things that happen in real life in this reality that you can see with your eyes are nothing compared to the things that have happened in my dreams. Things that have ruined me. And then when I wake up in the morning, I feel guilty. I feel like it actually happened. It's like in that movie Inception. They can't tell whether they've woken up or not. That's what I feel like every morning. I can't tell whether I've actually woken up or not. Everything was so real. I've killed people. Oh, I shouldn't have killed that person. And then I realize it was just a dream. Sometimes I forget what time it is, what day it is, what year it is. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing here. Held together with music. And I do it. I keep doing it. I don't do it for me, I do it for you. All new people out there. I don't make songs because I think I'd like to enjoy them. I make them because I believe that one day someone is going to hear it and someone is going to feel something. And they're going to be inspired to make their own music. You know? But this is the way I am, and this is the way I'm going to be until I'm possibly old. You know, keep telling yourself you want to die, and the chances are you'll live until you're 85 years old. And this is who I am. And my advice to you people out there, if you're anything like me or if you're a musician, never, ever, ever quit. In order to live, you need to do this. You need to make your music, save up, buy a decent computer, you know, get some free sample libraries, get some free programs like a free DAW like Reaper. Make music. Even if you're crap at it, keep making it. Get better at it. Work with people. Never ever give up. Because this is who we are. Music is who we are. And if you don't give it, you will never be able to live. It'll be like you didn't exist. And this has gone on long enough anyway, so thank you for listening. And I'll check you later.